Good morning, everybody. Having more coffee. I want to talk to you guys about something. The Lord put this on my heart, and to be honest with you, it kind of troubled me because I didn't know if I was gonna make this video or not. But I have to get this out because it just might save somebody. You know, the older I get, man, I care less about what people think about me, how they view me. I don't care no more. I'd rather help people so they won't make certain mistakes or go through certain things in life. Okay. It's a small testimony, but I think it's going to help somebody dealing with choices, especially in the entertainment world. You know, years ago, I ain't gonna say years ago, maybe it's in 2010, 2009, 2010, I moved to Hollywood, California to attend film school. I went to MI, that's Musicians Institute for Film. Great school. Loved it, learned a lot, you know. But honestly, I couldn't even finish school because one, I couldn't afford it. But that's another story. But went to film school, and you know, I was just like anybody who was following their dreams, following their heart, and anything they wanted to pursue. You know, so went to film school, and when I was in school, you know, I found myself struggling financially very hard. It was extremely hard to find a job in LA, right? Extremely hard. So eventually, I found me a job at a construction company, telemarketing on the phone. And then I ain't gonna say names, I became acquaintances and friends with people in the music industry. And I was living in, it's called Studio City. It's right next to Universal Studios. And I had an office. I worked at this construction company, but I saved up, was actually able to save enough money to actually get my own office in the same particular building, right? So, save my money, opened me a little small office. Actually, I was sharing the office with these guys from Canada who had a dubstep music label. And I actually rented one of their offices for my production company. And I became, and when my dude, I'm still cool with him today, he's my brother. But it was some other people as well. I ain't gonna say no names. But I became acquaintance friends with these guys, right? Not the Canadian guys, but some other guys in the building. If anybody's familiar with the old Wake Up show, that's the Sway and Tech show, right? That's the Sway and Tech show. That's how Sway got his start before he did Sway in the Morning. Before he branched off and did his own thing, he had his own show called the Wake Up Show. Anybody in hip hop know about the Wake Up Show? Actually, that was the last place that Notorious Big did an interview before he died, or before he got killed. So, you know, I had my office upstairs, they was downstairs, and we became cool. And eventually, when I had got on real hard times, like this had been maybe a couple years after I had my company, I got on hard times, man. I was messed up. Like me and my ex had broke up. I had an apartment right down the street from the studio, and me and her broke up. And actually, I didn't have no place to go. So I actually ended up sleeping in the studio, you know. And while I was there, a lot of things took place. You know, um, the music industry is it's not what everybody think it is. It's not glitz and glamour. It's a real dark side, and it's very demonic. And I really didn't know and realize that until I actually got in the music industry, started working with people and artists, mainstream artists. I'm not gonna say no names, but well-known people that you guys see on TV every day, right? So, like I said, I was staying at the studio. I really had no place to live. So I was actually sleeping in the studio every night. Actually, I used to sleep in one of the studios, the recording rooms on the floor. With my pillows, I used to put all my sheets together and my covers and make my own little bed, right? But this one particular night, and I ain't gonna say the artist's name. It's one particular night, and me and him became acquaintances. I thought we was friends. He would confide in me about things that he was going through, and he would talk to me about certain things that he was dealing with. And I knew the Lord then. I did. I was far from like living for the Lord like I needed to. I was going to church. Actually, I was going to Crenshaw Christian Center, South Central, Los Angeles. Love the church. And I was going to Crenshaw, so, I used to try to get a brother some insight. But what he had told me was, and I just believe in my heart that he was just trying to get it off his chest, that he actually like was living for Satan, and that he actually, he started out in the church, and that he actually wanted to be in the Illuminati. And back in them days, I thought all the Illuminati stuff was just talk. I thought it was BS, and but there's a lot of Freemasons in the music industry and I became good friends with them. Not friends, acquaintances. And behind the scenes, there's a lot of demonic stuff going on. But he told me some stories, and I'd be like, wow. I was just shocked, I was just shocked. I just really couldn't fathom or believe what this brother was going through. But I know he was telling me the truth because I was witnessing a lot of stuff for myself, just being around all the time and being in that industry. I mean, it's real. And I remember this one particular night, he was recording a song, and I was asleep. It was real early in the morning. It was late. It had to be like maybe 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And I was asleep in the recording studio. And he was actually recording this song in front of me, where I was sleeping in the studio, but there's like the soundboard, and you got seats set up, and he was actually just recording the song off this app off his phone. And the next morning I woke up, he just had this look on his face. I'm like, man, what's wrong with you? But he told me that when he was recording this song in the same studio that I was in, there's a glass. And everybody, a lot of famous people, Tupac, Biggie, you name it. A lot of people have recorded songs in this particular studio. You name it. And he said the booth that I was sleeping in, there was this black demon, And he said when he was recording this song, he was looking at him the whole time in the same booth that I was sleeping in. And he said that he was channeling, like he was like when he was recording the song, it was just coming fluent, and everything was flowing. And he recorded this song, didn't mess up one time, and the whole time he was recording the song, he was focusing on this demon that was in the same booth with me. And when he told me that, man, I just looked at him like, man, are you serious? I was like, man, I'm like, man, bro, why are you playing with this stuff? Pretty much. I was trying to talk to him. And he was telling me that, that's what he wanted to do. He made a decision in life that this is what he wants to do. He wants to be this huge celebrity. He wants to be this huge star. He wants his music to spread across the world. And, that was what he wants to do. He's pretty much said no longer that he wanted. Granted, this brother grew up in the church. Now I know he went through some situations in life which strayed him from God, but he pretty much explained to me that he was willing to do whatever it took for him to be famous, right? So I'm listening to him because I'm the type of person I really don't want to judge somebody. I'd rather listen to you, talk to you, and give you another alternative. Because I believe anybody can be reached. Anybody, while you still on this earth, while you still got life, you can be reached, right? Even then, I really wasn't living for God like I needed to, but I had God enough to where I didn't want to judge his brother, and I wholeheartedly wanted to help him, right? So he kept telling me what the situation was. And the more I spoke to him, the more I really realized that the devil has his hands in this music industry, right? And he actually played the song for me. And the song sounded amazing. I was like, wow. But then I thought too, man, is that Satan, that's what his job was in heaven. He was in charge of the music, He made the most beautiful music, period. And the devil, man, what he does is he tricks people with something that it could be so beautiful and so great, but he uses that for their demise. And he uses that to trap them. And he uses that to disrespect God. And, it got to a point where I found myself trying to, it's like being in the fire, and you shouldn't be in the fire, and what's right and what's wrong. But even in that situation I was going through, God still had his hands on me, man. And, it got to a point, I remember when we had this meeting. It was a lot of people in this meeting. It was some powerful people in the music industry in this meeting too. I'm not gonna say no names, man. And I don't care. And I'm gonna tell you this. I am covered by the blood of Jesus Christ, right? It was a point in time where I never would made this testimony because I was afraid of what people would think about me or what they would say, or the repercussions of me saying what I'm saying. But I don't care, because God didn't give me the spirit of fear, right? So I was in this one particular meeting, and I would never forget, man, it was a good brother of mine, and sometimes I used to drive to LA, and I used to always try to find him. He was homeless. My boy Ray Rizzle, man, I love you. If you ever see this message, man, I love you, bro. He was a homeless brother, man, but he was a strong man. And when I say he was strong, it's that he loved people, right? But, this homeless guy, we became cool. Even some of the guys in the industry that I used to deal with at the time, to a point where we kept him around, because, he was homeless, but you know what?